the same. You
Hey, what's up? My name is Sammy. I've been dropshipping on eBay for the last 8 years now. And today we have a guest. Do you mind introducing yourself really quickly?
well, my name is Jason, and I live with my sister and my niece,
Mhm.
and her name is Contessa.
Yeah. So Jason, tell me what's going on. You said you've been dropshipping. How long you been dropshipping for now?
Well, in all, it's been very. I don't know why, but we started and did a little bit for 6 years ago. I made barely any money. Sometimes it was like $10, $20 a day, but we never scaled it or we never took it seriously. But we were constantly searching for another opportunity, so we were just playing around with it. It wasn't until recently, I'd say probably about like 3 months ago, where I said, you know what, it's just a numbers game. Why don't we just post like 50 a day, or something like that. And then she started doing that, and then the income started getting better and better. But we weren't paying attention to like the regulations. Like if you post too much, that might cause them to pay attention to you more and probably interfere with your account. Um, we also have we also decided to work and do that with Amazon as well. But we're very careful with that because Amazon shuts down, and we just like eBay better. It's easier to work with less confusion. But then they interrupted our service because they asked us for some documents to verify the income. I don't know if it's because we started making a little bit more money. How much were you posting a day again? How many posts were you doing a day?
20.
About 20 a day, and I don't know why they interrupted, but it's been a month now. It's been down.
Okay, so let me ask you some questions on this. Yeah. So I know what you got. You got the MC11. Basically, this is eBay's risk management protocol. So there's two reasons why somebody. By the way, forgive me for my throat. I didn't. For some reason my throat sounds a little weird today. Yeah?
Bro,
So
you're helping us. I don't care.
I'm telling you. So there's two reasons why somebody gets the MC11 on eBay. One is because you have bad metrics, right? And the second is because you grew your account too fast. So what was the revenue on the account before you got the MC11? Like the 30-day.
Well, I think it was about, I would say it within the month, I probably reached about 1,000 and overall sales. It was just I was getting a lot of sales, maybe 3 a day. Uh, so it was just abundance of sales that I was getting each and every day.
It wasn't. It wasn't. 1,000 a day is no problem. Yeah, 1,000 in 30 days is no problem. Um. So I'm gonna pause with you guys. Are you guys on the computer that you have the suspended account on?
Yeah, here.
Yes.
Hold up. Okay, so we just took a look at Tessa's account, and what ended up happening was she got right. The account was registered in Puerto Rico and not the United States, and because it's registered in Puerto Rico, right, eBay flagged the account for bad buyers experience. They don't penalize U.S. sellers for bad buyers experience, but they do penalize everybody that's out of the United States for bad buyers experience. So for anybody watching, if you are like in Puerto Rico and you have the ability to create an eBay account and you put the location as United States, you should do so. So that way you don't run into this problem of like getting bad buyer experience. But the main thing that we have to understand is how did it lead to that? Because we were investigating your account and it doesn't look like there's any like signals of bad buyer experience. So you said that there was a bunch of cancellations on your account at one time?
Yeah, I was getting a lot of out of stock items, so I had to cancel those orders.
When you canceled it, what did you click? Did you click out of stock option or did you click that the buyer chose to cancel?
The buyer chose to cancel because
Okay.
if I choose the other option, it'll
Give
ding
you a
my account.
defect. good. But so did you ask the buyer if he wanted to cancel before you canceled it?
Yes.
And then he said, yes, I want to cancel my order.
Yes.
Okay, and you did it for every one of them, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, and how many items did you cancel? Do you remember?
I would
Like
say
roughly
6.
6. And how many sales did you get in that month? Like roughly.
Quite a bit. I would say 30.
Okay, so 6 out of 30. Okay, that's very important information. So that is actually like that screams out a red flag because 6 divided by 30 is 20%. So that means you canceled 20% of your orders during that period of time.
Right.
Right? So that is a huge like the ratio is insane, right? So tell me about so can we conclude that the reason the account got suspended was because you canceled a ton of orders during that time? Is
Right.
that fair to say?
Yeah.
Okay, so it wasn't because you grew too fast, it was because of like that action at that time.
Right.
Okay, good. So now that we're on the same page, uh now we gotta dive into the root of the problem, right? You said the items were out of stock. So you had 400 items listed, right?
Mhm.
Why were they out of stock? Explain that to me, yeah?
Well, they were selling out a lot on Walmart, so when it would sell out, I can't, buy the item, so I
Uh-huh.
would have to cancel it.
So are you using any software to list the item?
Auto DS.
So you're using AutoDS, but I believe they have a stock monitor.
Yes.
Was the stock monitor on?
Yes, it's always on. But I guess they don't calculate it quick enough before the purchase is made.
Got it. So that was so we can both agree that that was the root of the problem, right? Like
Yeah.
you cancel the orders and then so that means that the number one thing that you guys got to do moving forward. So this is a big lesson for Jason's account because if you don't like you guys didn't get suspended for growing too fast. You got suspended because of bad buyers experience as we saw. So that and the reason why is because you canceled orders and and then you didn't fulfill them and you had a 20% rate and that 20% suspended your account.
Right.
Okay. So now we got to talk about how do we make sure that we don't ever cancel orders again because this is the key for you. This is the part that you need to solve so that way you never have that issue again. So did you know that even if all 100% of your items are out of stock, there's a way to do it. There's a way to sell on eBay without canceling those items.
No, I didn't know that.
So I'm going to share my screen with you, right? And then this is a post I made on Reddit. Right? It says, don't cancel your orders if you're out of stock. Do this and make more money. Right? And this is what I do. Whenever I'm out of stock on an item on eBay, right? I get out of stock all the time, right? What I do is I go on Amazon, Walmart, or whatever, and I find an alternative item that is cheaper, right? Or maybe you find something the same price. And then you list that item onto your store for a higher price, right? And then what you do is you go ahead and craft a message, right? You blame a third party so that way you align with the buyer, and then you give the buyer a coupon, and then you address the buyer's problem. So let me give you an example, right? Let's say, Jason, I sold you an iPhone 13, right? And then I was out of stock, and I told you, hey, Jason, I'm so sorry. My son damaged the last iPhone 13 that I had, right? But to make it right, can I send you the iPhone 14? It's more expensive, it's better quality, but I just want to make sure that, you're happy. What are you going to tell me?
Certainly.
100%, right?
Yep.
So that means that, and did you know that the iPhone 13 and the iPhone 14, like they practically cost Apple the same amount to make, right? But the perceived value of the 14 is greater.
Yeah.
So in the same way, right? Right. Let's say like Tessa, tell me one of the items that you canceled if you remember at the top of your head.
Um, may have been like a bookcase.
A bookcase, right? And how
Right.
much was that? How much did that bookcase cost on Walmart?
I would say about anywhere from $50 to $70.
Okay, so then what you do is you go on Amazon.com and you look or Walmart.com and you look for a bookcase, right? And then you sort the price by like whatever the budget was. Maybe you put it from $2 to 32 cents, right? And then you take this $24 item and you list it for $99 on your eBay account.
Mhm.
And then you tell that buyer and you tell them, hey, right, we're out of like you want to make sure the item is closely resembles the item that the buyer wanted. So the same features. If it has like 6 tiers, you look for 6 tiers. If it's black, you look for black, right? You do the hard work and you do the research that's needed to find the same item. So that way, when you offer the buyer, you tell them that, hey, this item is actually $100, but it's better quality. It's a newer edition. Can I send that to you instead? I just want to, it's going to be better for you. And I just want to make things right. What is the buyer going to say if you present it to him like that?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, 100%. As long as like you cannot send them like a pink color one. It has to generally be the same item. So you have to kind of understand why the buyer bought this item, what's the features that he's looking for, and then you offer him an alternative that's better for him. And now that you marked up the price, you have margin to play with. So that means that you can use all of the profit that you're going to make to like give him more value. But the number one thing is we never cancel the order.
Okay.
But you said you're selling him a different item that's similar, but it's still marked up a bit more than what he originally paid for it. But would have paid for the other item?
Right. So we have control over what price we list an item for on eBay, right? So what I would do is I would mess with the buyer psychology, right? And I would take the item, right, and the alternative item, and I would set the price to $200 on eBay, just to show them that I want to send them a $200 product instead.
So you're upselling him to a degree.
Not upselling him, but let's say the item costs cheaper. Like let's say it's found like the alternative item on Walmart is cost $1, right? But we're gonna list that item on eBay for $200, just so that the buyer feels like he's getting more value because he doesn't know where we're sourcing the product from. He just sees the price on eBay.
Okay, that makes sense now.
Okay, so repeat it back to me if it makes sense, yeah? So we're clear.
Um,
So
but
basically, we look for another item that's very similar and maybe even better, right? Like better features.
Exactly.
And we probably put the price up a little higher
Good.
and offer them that option.
Exactly. But so you gotta make it, and not only that, you gotta play with their emotions too, right? Think about it this way, right? Let's say there's a big storm in California or something, right? And then you tell them that, hey, because of that storm, the item got damaged, right? And I don't want to do that to you, right? Let me go ahead and send you a better product just to make things right. So you make them feel like they're getting
Okay,
rewarded.
I get it. Because they already purchased the item. So what you're gonna do is give them something that's perceived to be more of value,
Exactly.
but it really wasn't as expensive as
It could be. It could be more expensive. It doesn't matter.
yeah.
Like the point is, like in the end of the day, all these prices online, right, are like. Do you have curtains behind you?
curtains.
Okay. See this mat behind me? How
Yeah.
much do you think it's worth? Tessa, you first.
Say 50.
50. Jason, how much do you think this is worth? And I'll tell you the price after that.
I think it's worth. It looks like it could be worth about 70, but you're probably going to tell us something like 20.
It's worth $80. But my point being, every one of us had a different answer.
Okay, you're right.
So that means that anything that we see online, right, the price, right, is determined by the perceived value, right? What everyone perceives it differently. Nothing has an intrinsic value. The only things that have intrinsic value are things like gold and like silver and things like that. Everything else you can set whatever price you want.
Okay.
You get what I mean? So when we're sourcing for the item, like in the end of the day, what you want to do is even if the item is more expensive and you're taking like maybe you're breaking even or taking a bit of a loss, you just don't look at the price, look at the product and see if it has the features that the buyer is looking for. And if you can increase the value for him, right, then he's gonna be happy, and you can set the price for whatever you want.
Just
You
don't
know what I mean?
just don't sell it too much higher than what they were originally about.
No, why not? Like if you put it whatever you think that he would feel like he's getting a deal, that sounds believable.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if I told him like, hey, I'm gonna send you this bottle cap that's worth $300, we're gonna be like, what are you talking about? This is worth nothing, right? But this mat over here, like nobody knows the price, and I'm pretty sure they made this for like $3 or something.
And you already know their commitment to wanting that item. So if you give them something that is perceived to be even greater value, even if it costs a little bit more, the fact is they want the item, and you just did. They look at it as just you did some shopping for them.
Exactly.
Even better. Yeah.
Exactly. But so the main psychology point over here that we have to understand is the product can actually be way cheaper. Maybe you'll find this item right over here for like $2 somewhere else, but you still mark it up for $200 just to increase the perceived value for the customer. So in the end of the day, with these out of stocks, it's an opportunity to flex your sales skills. And the end of the day, all selling on eBay is sales and marketing, right? If you're out of stock, you use your sales skills, and then you convert that, transact in that out of stock situation into a sale. There's a famous saying that a bird in hand is worth two in the forest. So what that means is when you have the customer's money inside your pockets, it's so much easier to convert him into another transaction than it is to find a different customer out there. You get what I mean?
You changed my mentality on eBay. I always looked at eBay more as like a retail model where it is what it is. This is the price. But you have me thinking the sales route as well, which is it has that base component, but at the end of the day, it's an individual interaction between one
Exactly.
person when to sell something to the next. So you have to treat it just like you would any kind of regular salesman trying to sell somebody a product.
Exactly.
That's incredible. I like the way that.
Exactly. Jason, you're like Jason. Oh, I think Tess is pretty good too, right? I think Tess is actually better than you, man.
Of
She
course.
she gets it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
She's more
Shoot it.
We've been doing this since 2020, so we made a lot of mistakes and learned a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So one thing I'll tell you guys: don't be afraid to call the buyers if you run into that situation. Pick up the phone and dial them and be like, "Hey, I'm so sorry this happened. I have a better product. I just sent you a message. Can you take a look? Can I send you that instead?" Turn it into a sale, man. Everything is sales and marketing in the end of the day, right? We're using dropshipping as the base model, but ultimately it's sales, right? We don't shy away from that truth, right?
Oh wow.
So
I
having
never thought of it like that. But yeah, now that just changed the entire perception on everything. And the in sales, personal contact with people makes a huge difference rather than through the internet. So
huge, and especially for these out of stock situations, you go above and beyond because as you saw, it suspends the account. You get what I
yeah.
mean?
So you have to fight it.
You gotta tooth and nail to make sure the buyer's happy. You do all the research beforehand. So dropshipping, when everything is right, is good. But when you run into these situations, I don't look at them as, oh wow, I lost money. I look at them as opportunities to improve my sales skills and you make even more money because you can find better products at cheaper prices if you do the research online. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. My store, however, was sourced because it's so old. It was sourced in the United States. So I'll look at it to see if it still is the United States. They shouldn't have just changed it just because I moved.
They
Right?
shouldn't. It depends on the registration of the account.
So my account is safe. So we'll just need to open up in
So we can't use a Puerto Rico address on his account.
No, no. You want to make sure your address is the United States when you're shipping out items. Like just the whole account should be United States. But as you might run into like since your account is older, you might not run into too many conflicts because of the fact that your account is seasoned, right? So let's talk about
I barely
so
use it though. I barely. for this 10 years.
That's fine. It has history, so that's a big thing, right? So let's talk. So right now, is it absolutely clear that you guys will never cancel an order ever again?
Oh yeah, I
Yes.
definitely came to that conclusion once it was suspended. I figured that was the issue.
Good. But do you have the information that you need to effectively do this? The sales skills you need.
This is the
Oh
most
yes,
important
definitely.
information, the foundational information that keeps the thing even up and running in the first place. So you gotta any other security pointers or things
Yeah.
that you yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you. So the suspension was bad buyer's experience. So that means that every customer needs to be happy with you. Like that is the goal of eBay. Like selling. Like our standard, like the reason eBay even allows us to drop ship, even though it's against the policy, is if we are good sellers. Ultimately. This is the truth. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
okay.
If you are about like think about what's happening, like think about what just happened to like those 6 people that the cancellation happened. Yeah, somebody bought an item from eBay, right? They bought it. They maybe like they're that that book stand, right? They really wanted it. They loved it or something, right? And then all of a sudden, like maybe 2 days later, they're expecting it, they're excited, and then it gets canceled. Now they're from a heightened emotion, they drop down. They don't know they don't know who Tessa and Jason are. They're gonna be like, "Hey man, screw eBay. Like I bought this from there and never arrived. My item got canceled." So we have effectively ruined the brand of eBay by just canceling that order. You see why they don't want a seller to be on the platform if they cancel the order.
Mm-hmm.
So, and eBay is, think about it this way, eBay is spending millions of dollars to advertise, to bring in customers to the platform, right? It takes a lot of effort to take someone to not shop on Amazon and to shop on eBay. And now that they spent so much money on educating that one customer, now they lost that person forever because the seller canceled the item or gave them a bad buying experience. So very important that we roll out the red carpet for every buyer that comes onto the platform. It is a privilege for us to be able to make money, right? For them to be even buying something from us, to serve them, right? Us as sellers, we're in the service business. So it's to serve them at the best of our ability, even if it comes at a cost sometimes. If you're going to lose money, you take the loss, right? And then you serve your customer. Because if somebody's happy and they love the transaction, what can you do next? You can tell them that, hey, Jason, I gave you the iPhone 14. You know what? But I think AirPods would look better with you. I'll give you a discount with it. What do you
Mhm.
think?
Yeah. Makes perfect sense, man.
You can upsell them. You can cross sell them. You can do a whole bunch of stuff to make sure that you don't ever lose money. Like you take that transaction, you turn it into something beautiful. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So so the main problem was bad buyer experience. So I just want you guys to internalize that forever. Every customer that comes by, you roll out the red carpet, right? If you gotta kiss the floor that they're on, you do it. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? As long as we're sellers or like the time that we're selling, that's like the service we give to our customers, right? And it is such a privilege and honor to even be able to sell on eBay like this and be able to make an income at home, right? People struggle outside. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So the tips would be never cancel. Returns, right? Same thing. If somebody has a return and they're having trouble, like maybe you refund them right away and you message them outside of eBay, right? You don't let eBay ever step in, right, to solve a problem. You always solve it yourself.
Before. Okay.
Yeah, never let eBay step in because they're paying their employees like 20, 30, 40 bucks an hour or whatever. And then they're gonna come in, investigate the case. Now you lost eBay the sale, and then now you're using their time. So you're wasting both of their time for both of those things, right?
Hmm.
Okay. Good. So so everything like that, always handle it outside in the messages or something like that, right? Try not to get cancellations or returns or whatever. All right, and out of stocks, you have the solution now. Even if you didn't have the tracker, you should never have. Like with this information, you should never run into that problem again.
Yeah, we're gonna close down her account. We're gonna do this the way that you would instinctively, as a person that doing this long, would do it, because you know the right path. So we're just gonna submit, and we're just gonna close down that account. We're gonna open up another account in another one, possibly two places. Now I need to know, based off of how long my account has been open, what's a safe amount to start posting a lot of. What's the scaling pattern? What's the
Yeah,
concept?
I'll tell you that right now. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah. So
I'm starting. I'm gonna tell you where we're starting from. Where we're at right now. How much we have up there?
90.
We have 90 items. We're posting 10 a days for 9 days. That's where we're at.
okay. Yeah, I'll tell you. I'll tell you about that in a second. Yeah. So now that we finished, with, because we first have to make sure that we rectify any problems before we start the journey anew, right? One thing I'll tell you is, we're not gonna be able to cover everything in this call today, right? But in my YouTube channel, like these kind of conversations that we're having, I have these deep conversations repeatedly. Like all these videos I post are all educational material. I also have a course that teaches about how to dropship. So these are like things that you want to go ahead and like dive deep into, because ultimately, right, we are making money by doing virtually nothing, right? We're copying and pasting, we're making money, right? The only way we're able to do that is if we have information and knowledge. We just know a little more than the next guy. Do you get what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So that means that as dropshippers, because you're not holding any inventory, that means that your level of knowledge of the platform, of eBay, of selling and sales, all of these things have to be at a master level, right? There is no success without mastery. There is some success without it, but there is no real success without it. So you have to make sure that you master the platform.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I'll tell you. And like my YouTube channel is probably a great place because I post everything there. I have like a bunch of videos. I would start from the latest videos and then just go down the funnel like that as much as you can. Like just understand the platform, and I dive deep into the algorithms and the
Well,
theories and everything all day long and that. Yeah.
all right. Well, we're on your page right now on the PC. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 videos.
No, there's like I have tons of videos on that, right? There's
Oh, you want that's a highlight reel. So, okay.
yeah. So the thing is, you don't need to be perfect to make money, right? But you should strive for perfection, and like knowledge is what's gonna save you in this business, right? So you network, we have communities, you stay in contact with other dropshippers who are successful, and then you take it from there. So let's jump into how to get sales on eBay, right?
Okay.
So so Angela, sorry, Tessa, your account had 400 items and you did $1,000 in sales, right? How much did you make from that $1,000?
I would say about 300, a little more.
300. So about 10%. Would it be fair to say that if you had 4,000 listings, right, you would have made $3,000? Same way that you did it.
Yes.
Okay, good. So that means a 10x multiple, right, would have been 10x the result. So it was always that simple. Like you just scale the business. It wasn't like the reason you guys were like so cautious about how many items you were listing is because you didn't understand why the account got suspended, right?
Yeah.
Listing 100 items a day is okay, but so let's talk about the two reasons why somebody gets suspended on eBay. Let me pull up the other post I have. Oh, my Reddit channel is a great place to actually dive into as well.
Yeah, you have a lot of videos. This would probably take us about a month to go through.
You don't need to know everything, right? You just need to like continuously supplement your knowledge, yeah?
So one video a day is fine until it's done. Well,
Like it depends on you. Like how much, like how serious you are, how much time you're ready to devote into it. Mastery is what really makes all the difference in this business, right? Somebody could probably get it done within 2 weeks. Maybe somebody will take a year. You guys decide on, like, your destiny is in your control, is what I'm telling you. So
Absolutely.
I can be the guide and let you know like where to start, but ultimately in the end it's gonna be up to you guys to execute. Yeah. So the purpose of this call is just to give you the tools and the knowledge and the education you need and the resources to do this successfully. So let's go ahead and talk about what 8 years of dropshipping on eBay taught me about avoiding suspensions. So number one, I just talked about, we just went through it. Bad buyer's experience, right? Like, so this post, right? If you guys read it, you would have like understood it, right? I mentioned canceling orders right over here. It said if a buyer is not pleased with the transaction, they'll be unhappy and either leave eBay, ask for a refund, or cancel the order. In all of these cases, eBay loses money. They lose a shopper and they lose the fee they were getting from the sale, right? So the main theme that we have to understand in all of this is eBay's bottom line. In the end of the day, eBay is a business, and anything that hurts the bottom line is going to be bad for them, so bad for their business, and they're going to try to cut it off. You see, you see how like everything that we talked about, like right away, like you got in like one sentence.
Mhm.
Okay, so we've already talked about like part A. You guys can review this whenever. But the next part that we got to talk about is fraud and risk management, right? Another reason that your eBay account gets suspended, right, is because you listing high risk items on a new account. So let's say you made a brand new account and I listed $100,000 TV. What's gonna, or $100,000, like I don't even know what's worth $100,000. Let's say a $10,000 TV. What's gonna happen to you? Brand new account. Can somebody take a guess?
They're gonna cancel it because it's a high, you know, the price is too high.
Yeah. So eBay is gonna be like, your brand new account. You're selling a $10,000 TV. Like, hold up, what's going on? Like, what if you don't ship out the item? What if you ship out a bad item, right? And then you run away from with the customer's money, right? Because eBay releases the funds after 14 days, right?
Mhm.
What if you went ahead and you shipped out a defective TV, right? And then 30 days later or like a month later, the buyer comes in and complains that, hey, eBay, this TV I got is actually broken. I want my money back. And then they're trying to reach you, but you guys have disappeared with the money. What's going to happen to eBay? Who's going to have to give like the buyer the money back?
That's eBay.
It's eBay. So they are insanely scared, right? If you list high risk items on a brand new account. So because they don't trust you yet to do that. So that means that whenever you're starting a brand new account, you list, you list books, maybe pillows, blankets, things that people don't usually scam with. You don't list iPhones, you don't list things that could be high risk in eBay's eyes. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So as a general rule for dropshipping, I avoid high risk items today, tomorrow, the next day, and forever. This is just my rule. I don't risk no TVs, no high end electronics, no Xboxes, nothing. Right? And always like the stuff like pregnancy pillows, like, well, all this stuff sells. There's a buyer for everything. You don't need to like sell high risk items. Yeah. The second reason that eBay is, they suspend your account is, you're doing, let's say you do $1,000 of sales this month, and then next month you did 100,000, right? eBay is going to be insanely scared about that as well. Why? The same exact reason, right? If you go ahead, you ship out those 100,000 items, and then you get a whole bunch of returns 30 days later, then eBay is going to have to bite the difference if you run away with the money. Do you get what I mean?
Right.
So when you're growing on eBay, you have to grow like consistently. You do $1,000 this month, 2,000 next month, 3,000, 4,000, and you continue like that. Yeah. So the problem with Tesla's, like what I said about if you 10x your items, right? If you would 10x your revenue too. So you went from 1,000 to $10,000 a month instantly, and that's a very dangerous thing. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So the way that I like to go ahead and list on eBay is I focus on high margins, right? So I don't focus on like the low end margins, right? I focus on like items that like I sell for $50. I sell like I'm buying for 50, I sell it for 100. And so that way, you know, like those sales, my revenue on my account is gonna be less, but my profit is still high. So I don't focus on 10% margins. I focus on like 50% margins. Does that make sense?
Right.
So that way you're still making like that way you can still get to like $2,000 or $3,000 a month without without like scaring eBay that your revenue is growing too high.
Okay.
Okay, so Tess, this is for you. Repeat it back to me. It's quiz time, huh?
Yeah, so you just scale up consistently, not making big jumps in revenue,
Why?
because it kind of scares them if you're going too fast, and they want to make sure they kind of vet you first,
Why are they scared though?
because you could run off with the money.
Good. And what's the other thing that we avoid?
Um, Not listing those high risk items like, yeah, like
Good.
iPhone or PlayStation.
Good. Good. So yeah, that's I think you guys understand that part, yeah? So so now like let me let you guys give an opportunity to ask your questions, yeah? So Jason, you first, yeah? Let me know if you have any questions right now.
No. Not really.
Yep. Tess, let me know if you have any questions.
No, not really. You have any like tips on what I should sell? Like any particular categories?
That's a good question.
Yeah, so regarding what to sell, so the way that I would go about it is I would list 10,000. So we have our own software, right? We don't use AutoDS. The reason why we don't use AutoDS is because you guys connected to their API, right?
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. We
So
don't use
API means an application programming interface. So that means that when you connect it to AutoDS, you are actually letting eBay know that you are using AutoDS. So now eBay knows that you're a dropshipper.
Oh wow.
So it goes ahead and raises the flags on the account.
Oh,
Do you get what I mean?
yeah.
So we have our own tool that, like it just simulates, a browser automation. So it makes it look like me, you, and Tess are all like clicking on the browser instead of actually connecting to their API. So in our tool, we have a feature that lets us find as many items as we want, right? Like it's just pretty random, right? I'm not gonna go too deep into that.
How much does it cost?
Like our prices are better than all of these. We have a promotion for 97 a month, and then there's a 30-day refund. So that's pretty much free to try. But we'll go under the premise of Auto DS just because like if anybody else is watching or something, yeah.
Do you have a free? Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
So do you have a free trial period?
We don't have a free trial, but we have a 30-day refund policy. So even if somebody makes like $1,000 or 10,000, it doesn't matter to me. Because we make all our money from dropshipping to begin with, right?
All right. All right. But if it's better and it's not gonna raise any alarms, then logically it's the only place to go because you can't risk your account, so you have to protect it, right?
Yes, that would be the right train of thought for that, yeah. So so you guys have read the bulk theory post I made on Reddit right now, yeah?
Right.
Okay, so explain to me, this test is for you to explain to me what you understood from that. How do we make
No,
more
I'm
ongoing?
the one who read it because I was on Reddit looking, and
Jason, you explain it to me then.
I didn't read the whole entire thing, and obviously I'm not as fluent as she is, so we're kind of at a loss right here. But I'm gonna go through it right now.
That's fine. Just tell me what you understood briefly, and then I'll explain it to you. You don't. I'm on the call with you, right? I'll explain it to you better.
Well, the number one thing that I took from it is the thing that we came to the conclusion about. And it's just a general thing in life when you're trying to scale, is you focus on the quality first, and first of all you focus on the the protection of of it, and keep the so that way you can always have the account. Second thing you worry about is um the quality of your items. No, but you said it's not really about quality. You said it was more about the quantity of it. But I wanted to make sure that the items up there are still good items, that with the profit margins and all that. So you have to learn all of those things.
So let's pause. Let's pause for that. Yeah. So doing it, finding the right products, and all of that takes skill, right?
Yeah.
A skill that even I wouldn't say I have mastered it. You know what I mean? Even I'm still in development. I'm still learning that. Like we get better as we go, and I've been doing this for a long time, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys a thought experiment, right? Uh, Jason, what's the last thing you bought on Amazon?
I don't buy anything on
We bought some rechargeable lighters.
Oh yeah,
Rechargeable ladders. Okay, good. So let's say we're selling that rechargeable ladder for $1,000, and we went up to every single person in this world. Can you guarantee me that one person would have bought it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
100%. You guys are logical people because you understand 8 billion people is an insane amount of people. One person has that insane desire or need for that lighter. Maybe he's in the ditch somewhere and he's cold, maybe he's camping, I don't know. Right?
Or better yet, you think about all the ways lighters are used, and then you kind of give an estimate based on what you know about the world, and you could say realistically, based on how we use lighters and tobacco and all this other stuff, maybe about 60% of the world or uses, or even if you want to be conservative and say 35-40% of the world uses that. Your job really is just to find them now.
Yeah, yeah. So how much did you buy that lighter for on Amazon?
It was $6.
$6, right? But we were still able to sell for $1,000 if we went up to every single person in the world, right?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So let's say we go to 1 billion people instead. What about now?
Yeah. It's
Guarantee me to sell.
yeah, definitely.
100%. What about 100 million people?
Yeah, you could go down to 100 people, I think, with a lighter. Well,
But no, like think about it this way: like if you go up to 100 people, like can you guarantee me the sale though? I'm talking about a guarantee.
I would say 1,000 would be probably the lowest I would go.
Well, let's think about that, right? So if you went to 1,000 random people in your area, are you telling me that one person would have bought that lighter for $1,000?
Oh, for $1,000? No.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh
Okay. So that's what we're talking about. So let's start back from the top, right?
yeah.
If you went up to 8 billion people and you try to sell that lighter for $1,000, can you guarantee me that one person would have bought it for $1,000?
Yes.
$6. Good.
Yes.
Fast, can you guarantee me that one person would have bought it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. What if you went up to 1 billion people?
Yes.
Okay. So let's say we drop the price to $500, right? So we make it even cheaper, and then we go to 100 people, 100 million people. What about now?
Yeah.
Make it
Yeah.
a little.
Yeah.
Oh, well, so let's say, let me give it in context, right? Let's say we go up to, for $500, we went up to every single person in Germany, which has like 80 million people. Would one person buy it for 500 bucks?
Yes. Oh yes. Definitely.
100%, yeah? Like, Tess, does that make sense? Because we have to be all on the same page, yeah?
Yeah.
The country has the country plays a factor as well too.
Yeah. Yeah. So like the main thing, so if the logic is not making sense, like interrupt me and disrupt me and let me know, because we need to be clear on this fact, yeah?
Yes.
So let's say we drop the price to like $200 and we went up to 10 million people. What about now? Can you guarantee me one person would have bought it?
Yes.
Tess?
Yep.
Okay. So now let's say we dropped the price to $100 and we went up to 1 million people. What about now?
Yes, I see where you're going. It's you're justifying the price, not worrying about the price as much because because of perceived value. Because there will be some people that will look at something and be like,
But
yeah,
can you guarantee me for $100 you went up to 1 million people with one person on it?
yes,
Yeah. Okay, now let's say we drop it down even further. $50, we now went up to 100,000 people. What about now?
yes,
Okay, good. So that means that ultimately, right, what made the sale happen wasn't the product. The product is irrelevant. The price was irrelevant. What sold was visibility on the item.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay.
You guys get it?
Mm-hmm.
So what constituted the sale wasn't the product, wasn't the price. It was the pure visibility that the item got. So when you list items on eBay, right, if you noticed, every single item gets eyeballs, impressions, right? When you list enough items, they all get impressions. And then that impressions, some of that converts into sales
Right.
just because of pure visibility.
Okay.
So that means that we talked about an irrelevant letter and we were able to sell for $1,000 given enough visibility. So our goal as sellers is to get as much visibility as we can on our eBay account. Do you get what I mean?
Mhm.
So if you're not getting sales, what do?
Get more visibility.
And how do you do that?
I don't know, ads.
Marketing.
Well, okay, those are good. Those are good answers. What's another thing that we can do right now?
Promotions on the site. They have it.
If you have one item on your let's talk about your entire store together, right? If you only have one item in your store, what can you do?
Pricing.
Yeah. So let me explain another thing to you. Yeah. So every time you list an item on eBay, right? eBay gives you impressions, right? eBay goes ahead and
Oh yeah,
some
yeah.
eyeballs.
Sorry to interrupt. Now I'm remembering what you said in there, where you said that as long as you're posting something new, it'll give you the visibility will be at its height at that point. I remember that was a distinct wisdom. I like that.
Okay, why though?
I
Hold
don't
on.
know.
So, Jason, people didn't read the Reddit post, so let me explain it once more, and also for Tess, yeah. Okay, so let me explain that once more, yeah. So, whenever you list an item on eBay, right? eBay goes ahead and gives impressions to the listing, right? It gives it some eyeballs. Why does it do that? Because eBay wants to test the item to see if it's gonna sell, right? And so that means that every time you list an item, right, you can list this bottle cap, right? You can do this experiment, right? You can list it and you're gonna see that it's gonna get some impressions. Why does eBay do that? Because it doesn't know if it's a bad item, it doesn't know if it's a good item, right? It needs to test it in order for it to have some data on it. So that means that if you keep listing items, you're gonna keep getting visibility. You get what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that visibility equates to sales.
It's for that individual item in the beginning, but overall for your store, because they might start searching through the rest of your store, right?
Yeah, but let's just talk about the search algorithm because that's we'll just talk about the search algorithm and not the buyer's behavior. Yeah,
Yeah.
because so now like the question is, why does eBay give like your item a chance, right? Why does it do that? Why doesn't it just show the items that are already selling,
It's
right?
brand new, and they want to vet the item, see if it actually sells or not.
But they don't know. Like they like think about it this way, right? You have in the top search results in the first page, you have like 20 slots, right? Why would it give a brand new item a chance over there instead of like 20 items that eBay knows are already selling? Like why would they give you a chance? Why not just let the sellers who are already selling sell more and just collect more fee? Why eBay give you a chance?
Maybe it's just a mandate to always be fair to the little guy, you know, because
Do you think these corporations care?
I mean, if they want more people on their platform and they can't cater to the small
because
few.
yes, they want to test the product and see if it actually sells.
Well, why would they test it? Like that's the question. Why would they test
I
it?
don't know. I don't know. It's a very, very intriguing question. Please
Test.
answer.
I feel like you're onto something. Why would they test it?
Because they don't know if it's actually if it can sell or not.
But but tell me this, Test, right? Like you have 20 sales guys, right? Let's say you have a company, you have 20 sales guys, right? And they're performing like monsters and they're making you tons of money, right? Why would you let a newbie like take one of their positions and like potentially harm the sales of the day? Why would you do that, Tess?
Maybe they don't want you to get too big. Maybe they want you. Oh, they want you to keep. Sorry, I'm answering for test. My bad. Then maybe they want the other person to have a reason to keep stay on top of their own account because the competition is always out there. So you have to constantly post. It forces everybody to constantly post now. Right?
Why would they care about that though? Like if they okay, I get what you're saying. That is a reasonable answer, right? But ultimately, like eBay already knows all the items that are gonna sell. They know what prices they're gonna sell at, right? They have all of the research and data on what's gonna sell. Why would they spend any time testing?
Well, it could also be testing the seller, see if they are a good seller. You give them
Why not just show the best sellers instead of going ahead and testing out random newbies like us?
maybe to test the seller itself, like see
Yeah,
if they're
but why would they do that? Like they're corporate. Like, would you do that if you were a business?
I don't know. I don't know. You got to answer this because suspense is killing me because I really, really want to know this.
Okay, so let's think about it this way, right? Let's say this is the iPhone 13, right? Right. I sold this item like eBay, like this. Let's say that when did the iPhone 13 come out? Like, what iPhone came out recently?
I
Right.
I'm still on 12, so I don't know.
Okay, I think it's the iPhone 16 right now. Yeah. So eBay knows that. Let's say that on eBay right now, right? If someone searches up iPhone and only iPhone 15s show up at the top of search, right? And the reason that they did that is because, oh, iPhone 15 sold a ton last year, so let's show it again this year as well. What's gonna happen to eBay? So
Say,
let me give you let me clear it up again, right?
I missed that part. Say that again. Sorry.
So right now the iPhone 16 is out, right?
Hmm?
So this is the current iPhone of the year, right?
Yeah.
So eBay, since the iPhone 16 just came out, eBay doesn't know if the iPhone 16 is gonna sell a lot. It doesn't have the data on it, but it has the data that the iPhone 15s sold a bunch last year,
Okay.
right? So me as a buyer, I'm going on eBay and I'm searching for an iPhone, right? And then all I see is iPhone 14s and 13s and 15s, right? Because eBay is only showing me that because they sold a bunch in the past years, but
Okay.
they don't have any information on the iPhone 16. What me as the buyer, what am I gonna do? Who's looking for the iPhone 16?
Um.
Am I gonna shop at eBay or I'm gonna look somewhere else?
I mean, I would imagine that you would. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I quite got the concept. You probably got to do it one more time.
Yeah, yeah. So let's say that I'm selling. So let's say that last year iPhone 15s were selling on eBay, right? They have all of the data that iPhone 15s are like rock star items that sell a bunch,
Yeah.
right? But they don't have any information that the iPhone 16 is selling, right? Because it's brand new. Nobody has bought it, just came out today,
Okay.
right? So then if eBay started to think like, okay, you know what? We don't know if the iPhone 16 is gonna sell, so let's just show the iPhone 15s and 14s, right? If a buyer is coming onto the platform and they're looking for the latest iPhone, what's gonna happen to you? What's gonna happen to the buyer?
Well, I mean, you said what's going to happen to them?
Well, they're looking for the iPhone 16, so you will have to show the newest, the newest
Yeah,
phone.
but eBay is not gonna if eBay decided to say that, hey, you know what? Like the buyer, he searched iPhone, but we don't know if iPhone 16s are selling. So let's just show him a bunch of iPhone 15s and 14s and 12s and 13s because we have all the data to say that
Buyers
these
will
sold.
go somewhere else, right? Obviously,
They'll
there's a.
go somewhere else.
I wasn't paying attention.
Mm.
I feel slow.
No, you got it. So that means that eBay has to be on the top of trends, right? If they
Yeah,
don't find the next big thing, what are the shoppers gonna do?
they're gonna leave.
They're gonna leave. So
So that's
eBay
why
responsibility.
people, I guess, I get they that might want to encourage them to get more people to post iPhone 16s and give them options on that platform. So,
Exactly. Well,
but that's the thing. So going based off of the fact that we would be the ones posting the trendiest items as dropshippers, not the
so
older, right?
so in the end of the day, eBay doesn't know what's trendy or not. They'll find out from the demand of the buyers, right?
Mhm.
But the main thing to understand is if eBay is not on top of finding the newest trends, then all the buyers are going to see all the old stuff and they're never going to find the newest item because maybe the iPhone 16 is going to sell 1 billion times or 1 million times on eBay. And if they didn't ever test it, right, they would have never discovered the trend.
Right.
I see. I get it.
So the marketplace's responsibility, right, is to serve the customer. eBay's responsibility is they're trying to find the best items to present to the customers at all times.
Yeah, it's a brilliant way of ensuring that the whatever's hot and popular is always going to be at the forefront on their platform, just by the way the system sort of forces people to post in more variety.
So
So
every time you list a new item, right, eBay tests it because it might be the next big thing.
even if so, and they don't discriminate when it comes to items, they just let.
How are they discriminate? They don't have eyes. They're like it's just a computer. They can't see it.
Yeah,
It's an algorithm.
it automatically puts the best to the forefront, basically.
Not the best. It anything new, it put in the forefront and gives it and it gives it a chance to
Yes,
prove itself.
and variety of posting is the only way to do that, because then
What do you mean variety of posting? Like that word is unfamiliar to me.
multiple people posting it and competing as they normally would do, um and that because obviously people it's going to be more competitive in those with those items that people are want to look at, so you can tell based off of how many people who are posting.
Well, hold on. Let's forget about the competition, right? Let's just think about what eBay's objective is, right? Their objective is to find the newest trends and present it to their buyers. Maybe they found like this. Maybe maybe somebody created like this, you know, pencil that you know somehow like makes gold or something,
Yeah.
right? If they never tested that, they would have never knew that this item is gonna sell 1 million times.
Okay.
You know what I mean? If it only showed like all the old pens and pencils, right, they would have never found the next big thing. And if they didn't find it, then another platform would have found it. Amazon would have found it.
And this system ensures that, basically solves that problem by putting a lot of posts or people eyes. Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to connect it to how a person would just normally post and why, right? So if
Wait, no, don't think about that though. Like, don't think about that. The main thing we have to understand is the algorithm, right? And if we
And that's
understand the
how
algorithm,
and that's
that's
how I guess I was making so many sales as I was posting a lot of items. I post 20 every day.
right.
So
And then what happened to those 20 items? Explain it to me, Tess.
it was giving me more views on my products
Why was it giving you more views?
because they're trying to test out all my new items that I was posting
Good, good, exactly. Why did they test it?
to see that next big trend that, for that item.
Good. So that means that if an item is on your store and it's like 90 days old, it's dead. It's not getting any views
Mm-hmm.
if it didn't sell already. But if it's sold, it'll get more views. If it didn't sell, it's dead.
Yeah, and that's something I was thinking about too, is you also have to kind of weed through what's not selling after it hasn't been
Not
selling.
necessarily. Not necessarily. What if it were just like the bad, like you did all the research, maybe like the bad people only looked at your item and they didn't buy it. Maybe like drunk people came onto the platform and they looked at the item and they didn't have any serious intent. The algorithm doesn't know they're drunk.
Mm.
So what do you have to do in that situation?
You have to tweak each item, like, tweak the pricing, tweak the.
But if you tweak the pricing, then eBay still knows it's the same item though. The way that you actually do it, I'll tell you, is you delete the item and then you repost it.
Okay.
It's that simple, right? Like think about it. Like describe this.
Oh,
Describe my wallet. It's not
It's
the
becoming
prettiest
a new
one.
product again.
are you serious? You just
It's a new product.
seem great, so that way you could stay at the height of visibility.
Exactly. So explain this to me. Like this is pretty ugly, but what is
And
this?
your software auto repost everything, or do we have to manually do it?
So we have features that do that, but we're not done with this topic yet.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just excited about what you're opening up right now.
Yeah, no worries. Tess, explain this. What is this? What is this? You see my camera?
Wait, give her a second. She just went somewhere. She's coming.
Okay.
She gets
So
for the laptop
okay. So Jason, you explain this to me. What is this?
wallet,
The wallet. What color is it?
black,
Okay. So when you're listing it on eBay, what would you write?
black wallet, and then I would list this dimension.
Black wallet. Just let's say just that, right?
Yeah, rectangular like that.
But if you reposted the item with and then you put the title black wallet, right? Couldn't the word title black wallet be applied to thousands of different items?
Yes,
Yeah, that's
we
true.
need more filters.
So that means that if you delete it and relist it, eBay won't be able to say that this is the same item just because you use the same title.
This is just common sense, but it's you have to do this for a while to be like, wait a minute, this is how. Yeah, that's pretty cool. This is pretty cool.
You get it, right? Like eBay, you're not gonna when you delete the item and you relist it, eBay doesn't know that it's the same item because thousands of items can have the same title.
So let me ask you a question. How long do you usually keep your listings up for before you relist?
30 days.
That okay, because the window for it to have that
Yeah, I read
is
that
about 30
somewhere
days. Okay, that's
to where
good.
if it's not selling, you should do
So your store is always current. So the normal issue is people that feel like you can just post it and leave it. But you can't do that. You have to constantly leave it.
You have to refresh the inventory to bring it back to the top of search. Why do you bring it back to the top of search? Can somebody answer this for me? Let me ask Tess because I think Tess, you're the operator, right?
Yes. So
Yeah.
it's a new listing, so they treat it as a new listing, and they don't know it's the same item because you changed the titles, correct?
No, you keep the same title. Let's say you kept the same title.
Okay.
Can they tell it's the same item?
No, they can't because it's a new listing.
Why? Well, it has the same title and the same picture.
Because of the generality of the description.
Good. Tess, did you understand that?
Yes.
Explain it to me.
Yeah. So
The
Yes.
reason I ask for you to explain it is because, like I don't get on these calls this often, right? So it's better for me that you actually understood everything and then you left this call so you can actually use this information and do something with it. That's why I'm testing you with it. You get what I mean?
right.
Okay, so explain it to me. Let me
Yes.
give you that experiment again, just so you what is this?
Black wallet.
Black wallet. It's actually brown, but camera. Okay, so black wallet, right? Can you use that title for like thousands of different listings?
Oh yeah.
So then eBay can't say for sure that, like just because you have the same title as the same item. So that means you can, even if 1,000 people use the same title, eBay can't conclusively say that this is the same item because maybe this pattern or something people want it. You get what I mean? So that means that when you that means when you end the item, and if you have everything the same, right, you still get to the top of search because eBay just doesn't know it's the same item. If they knew, would they give you another chance?
No.
No. Good. But because it's an algorithm, a human being, me and you, we can tell it's the same thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But computers are not as smart, not yet at least. You know, maybe like if the world changes a little more, like as the adventure of AI, things are gonna change further, yeah. But right now, it's not as smart.
Like bandits.
What happened?
I said, but by then we would have made off like bandits and then have the new money to invest in the new technology to get around it.
That's assuming you did all the work.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, that's the assumption.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Good. All right. So now what happens if you go ahead and list 10,000 brand new items? How many sales are you gonna get tomorrow? Yes, this is for you. Like, just take a random guess. Give me a word, not a number.
Like 10%, I would say maybe 10 cells.
So give me a word, not a number.
A lot.
A lot. That's the word. Why? Explain why. If you can explain why, then you understand bulk theory.
Well, that's 10,000. If you had like even just one visitor per item, that's like 10,000 people looking at your store, at your items.
Good.
So yeah,
And then related back to what we talked about with the price. Like, does the price and the item really matter?
no,
What brings the sale? Like, what's the ultimate factor that constitutes a sale?
the visibility.
The visibility. And when we post 10,000 items, what happens to our visibility?
It goes up.
By a ton. Good. Congratulations. That's bulk theory 101.
Wow. You know, whoever taught you generally how to think in life, whether it be a great teacher or your parents, they taught you very well. Because you the entire time, every time we try to deviate, you focused us back exactly on the learning path and you forced us to remember. So that means that you had a good instructor who taught you how to properly retain information and actually learn efficiently. So
Yeah, you betcha.
brilliant
Damn.
instructor, bro. You're very, very good at it's and entertaining too, by the way. Very.
Well, I'm glad you think so, right? All right. So now the last thing we'll talk about, and then we'll wrap up this call. You should have like like right now, with as long as you understood the bulk theory, you have the most important information that you need, right? To be like there's more on eBay. Like there's momentum. There's so many other small things that, like, all these silver bullets, they get put into together and to make a golden bullet, right?
Mhm.
So you guys gotta have to continue to supplement your information, but with the call that we have today, right? There's no excuse to not making like at least a minimum of like 3,000 a month, as long
You
as somebody puts in the work,
have a course?
right? So it doesn't. You can put in the work. Your wife can. Like, I don't know. Are you
My
his
sister.
wife?
It's my sister.
Oh, okay. Your sister, right? So
Yeah.
Tess can put in the work. You can put in the work. You can get a VA. You can use automation. How you do the work is irrelevant. The work needs to be done.
Are these the only tools that we need? Is there any other tools, techniques? Anything.
Our software does like a big part of it. Like, because like we base off, like, we talk about the theory and the software kind of does the implementation, right? But you still need the operator to understand what's going on for it to be successful. Do you get what I mean? But let's take a step back and let me explain the last concept that's important for you to understand before, like what let's talk about what constitutes a sale, right? So let's say you guys go to like a baseball game, right? And let's say you guys are super hungry, right? And somebody comes up to you and tries to sell you a hot dog for $10. Let's say you're starving. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna buy it or you're not gonna buy it?
I'll go out buy it.
You're gonna buy it, right? Why didn't you just buy it at Costco?
It was there. It's like
Convenience.
yeah.
Convenience. That's the word. So that means that, you know, buyers on eBay, right? Well, what if the hot dog was $1,000? Would you buy it?
Would I buy it? No.
Okay, but you're super hungry though.
Yeah. So it's a balance between what you want and the price and the convenience. So is the convenience cost how much?
Within your budget.
Yeah.
If it's within your budget. So that means that the price that you sell the item, it doesn't really matter as much as long as you're within the person's budget, right? That item that you guys bought, like that lighter, you bought it for how much? $6?
Yes.
What if it was $9? Would you buy it?
Yeah, I'll still buy it.
You still buy it. What about if it's 12?
Honestly, I still buy it because
Still buy it. What if it's 12? What if it's $15?
maybe. Yeah.
Got it. So it's $14, like sweet spot. So that means that, you know, me, you, and everybody else can raise the price to whatever we wanted to, right? As long as we're within the buyer's budget, as long and they have that pain, right? Like if they're hungry for a hot dog and the hot dog's within their budget, they're gonna buy it. You understand that? So when
Yeah.
somebody's buying something on eBay, right? Let's say they're looking for medicine for their kid or something, they're sick, right? They're gonna search like cough syrup, and the first listing, if it's like within their budget, even if it's on the higher end, they're gonna click it and they're gonna buy it. Why? Because they need it. It's solving their pain. You understand?
Right.
And the proof is, you would have bought that lighter. Like you probably had a reason why you wanted it, and you still would have bought it for $15 or $14. Why? Because it's solving that problem. It's within your budget. But why didn't you? Why didn't you? Like Tess, why didn't you look for that lighter on Temu?
Well, it's just too many items. It's not as
And brand, you're going deep into consumer psychology in terms of how they would normally respond in everyday life, because everybody's life is different. So you factor them differently in their decision making, and then it makes it easier for you to price without being afraid of certain things. So it makes sense. It's the brand recognition of buying from this because they're used to that.
So you're telling me that brand of that lighter, you guys knew about it beforehand?
No, that's the platform,
it's the platform.
not Timo. People might Timo.
Yeah, okay.
No, yeah.
But so you bought it because it was on Amazon and it wasn't because it was, but if you found the item for like 10 cents on Temu, are you telling me you wouldn't have bought it? Instead, you would have bought it. You wouldn't have bought it from there.
Now we're getting, I think, a little bit off because I factor things differently. Because like, if it's from a place like overseas, I have more discriminating factors. So we can't really use me as that. So let's go back to your reasoning on why, in a general way.
No, what you said is fair, right? Right. But my point being is, generally speaking, what I'm trying to get at is people do not compare prices, right? They don't go ahead and look for the cheapest price. They have a problem, they buy it. They don't look around because nobody has time for that. Imagine spending an hour looking for a cheaper price for a $6 lighter.
Oh, okay, you're right. Maybe, and as the price point goes up, maybe obviously they'll think about it. But then again, it's relative to how
As
much.
long as it's within their budget, right? And it solves a pain, right? And every item we list is either solving a pain or a passion. So we don't even have to think about that. All we gotta do is make sure we list items, and we list them, like we can list them for whatever price as long as it's within the majority's people's budget. And that's
Now,
what constitutes a sale.
right.
Yeah, so that's price optimization. All
Now,
right.
so you look at your competition to see what they're pricing. Well, obviously you have to, right? So you have to probably look up.
Not necessarily. What if your competition is selling it too cheaply and you're not making enough? Can't you still get the sale if you raise the price?
Oh yeah, I do. Like, sometimes I have to. I have no choice, you know.
Right.
And
But
the price,
and how would you get the sale if you raise the price? What would you do?
I would just post it, you know.
Good.
They're about
And why does that work?
it. They don't look at our pricing.
What
They
does
don't
the
have
algorithm do when you list a new item?
right. They put your listing at the top.
You've got
Yeah.
So you basically combine that's perfect. So you combine the fact that they're not gonna look up if it's in their price point, it'll filter out to those people within that price point, and they're not gonna go look around. And then, but guess what? They're whatever is the most visible right away. They're just gonna go click on it.
100%. That's it.
You
That's it. You got it.
You're way better than most people. Way, way better. Way more efficient. You ask questions to lead the person to so it assigns more, and it makes sense in their mind, and you're not just lecturing them. Brilliant.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if I was lecturing, I would have just made a call by myself, right?
Right.
It's important that you guys like understood it, and the only way is to test you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Okay, so that wraps up the call. My so I think you guys like let's test. I want you to summarize everything that we talked about, the main points, and then we'll call it a day here. I'll give you my final thoughts. Yeah.
Okay. So basically you have to post a lot of listings every day, right? And um, remove any listings that are, 30 days or older, and then repost them so you can keep, getting new listing and new views on your store and products. Also, there's no canceling orders whatsoever. It's just time to sell.
To convert them to something else. Right.
Good.
Right.
Good. So now you guys should be confident. Like, you guys are running. The reason I talked about the pricing in the end is because you were doing a 10% markup, right?
You
And you
said
can't.
100%. You said up to 100% on the post, which was I thought ridiculous. But
Now do you understand it?
yeah, now I do.
Good.
You should be a university professor, bro. You're very good. You're much better as a because a lot of teachers just want to hear themselves talk. They're not as concerned about whether the information is assigning, which is the whole point. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, I hear you. So the last things that you guys need to like hear is we're just gonna talk about some of the softer topics, right? Not about the algorithm, but how to really be successful as like sellers, and this is important, yeah. So if you guys dropshipped on eBay for the next 1,000 years, couldn't you guarantee me at one point you would have been masters and you would have made like $1 million a year?
10,000 hours, yeah.
100%, right? Like I said 10,000 years.
No, but even
Did it for 10,000 years.
good,
You
right?
had to be, for sure. I know what you're talking about. That number is magic too.
Yes.
So the answer is yes.
Yes.
So what about if you did it for 10 years?
Yes.
100%, right? If you do something long enough, you're going to be good at it no matter what. Repetitions. But the question is, how do you stay consistent? Like, how do you not go from one shiny object to the other, right?
Automation.
Automation.
That's automated.
No, people jump around all the time. Like, the next new automation comes out, they're going to jump to the next one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The truth is, like you gotta love what you do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You gotta like what you're doing.
They'll make you put time into it, which will get those hours up faster.
Yeah.
And that experience, you'll pay attention even more. So that information will assign better. You'll be more productive, and you need numbers because life is a numbers game. And that's
Yeah,
love.
good, very good. So the question is, how do you like? Let's say you don't like something, right? How do you like? How do you know somebody loves something? Let's talk about that first, right? How do you know like somebody loves God? What does he do?
Completely submit themselves, body, soul, mind, action, emotion, logical decision making.
Good, good. But let's say somebody is not praying at this moment, right? Like, so let's say somebody's praying. How does someone pray?
They pray thankfully. Pray humbly. I mean,
But what do they? What is praying? What are they doing? What's the action?
the praying is communication to God
Again, so
with God. Yeah.
they're talking to God, right?
Yes.
So how do you know when a girl loves somebody? By the way, I'm tested. This is not like I'm just saying this because I say this to everybody. Huh? How do you know a girl loves somebody? Like, Tess, can you answer this actually?
I don't think I can.
Well, they show that they care. They call them. They
How do you know your best friend likes somebody? What would she do in front of you? What would she do?
she would, she would be blushing and looking
Like
at
the guy's not here. Like, let's say she's with you. How would she express to you that she likes this person? How would you be able to tell?
talk about it.
Exactly. They talk about it, right? So that means that, the reverse is also true, right? If you talk about something enough, you're gonna start to like it. You know what I mean?
That's why grouping when you're learning, having a peer group to talk about it. That's why I went to Reddit.
Exactly.
That's why I went to Reddit.
So you need people to talk about. You guys are perfect together because you guys can talk about it all day. But the more you talk about it, the more you're gonna like it, and the more you like it, that's how you stay consistent. Do you get what I mean? So you always need to be engaged in talking about it, and with that repetition comes mastery, and success only comes from that mastery. It is a matter of repetitions, and time, and to being consistent. Yeah. So before you think about the next big thing or moving on to Amazon or whatever, like, you must master the platform, and the way you do it is by being consistent. The way you be consistent is you talk about it. Do you get what I mean? So we have a public eBay Discord group, and then we also have a private one for like our members. But the main thing that you guys should take away from it is be active in communities. Like, maybe you join ours, right? Whatever the case is, the more you talk about it, right, with other people, the more networking you do. This is how you go ahead and scale your business, right? Imagine, like, I'm not the only guy that knows stuff, right? There's tons of guys that know stuff, right? Imagine you're having these calls once a week or something. What's gonna happen to you guys?
Oh, you're gonna definitely get there. In fact, my thinking was that when I woke up this morning, I literally went to Discord, Clubhouse, and Reddit and began searching because you need three things in order to grow. You need mentorship, which, my goodness, you're very good, right? You need community because it constantly reinforces it. You keep it in your life, and that's more hours you're spending focusing on it. So you get to mastery faster because you're gathering information more consistently, right? You're giving your time and your love to it. And the final thing is, as you said, your love for it. That'll determine how much you will do these things that we just mentioned before in order to get to work, bro.
Yeah,
So I'm
100%.
definitely gonna join.
100%. It's as you said, like, this is one of the softer aspects in dropshipping, but it's one of the most important as well. The number one reason people drop off is because they don't like what they're doing, and the reason they don't like it is because they don't have anyone to talk about it with.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think us being here together has helped, like you said, right?
100%. Like, you guys, like, that pair is like, the more people that you have, right, the more accountability that you have, or so all of these things constitute in being successful in dropshipping. Know what I mean? In any business, this doesn't apply to just dropshipping.
In life,
Everything.
in everything
Yeah.
in life. Many hands make light work. That's
It's a good
it.
saying. That's a good saying, man. I like it. All right, so that wraps up the call. Do you guys have the confidence? So right now, I didn't tell you about how to create accounts, but inside the Discord and account creation channel, there's more resources there, right? This is just this call is, let it serve as the beginning of the journey, but not the ending, right? This is not where the learning stops, because this is still just the beginning of the learning. There's more things that you need to know, but with just this enough, are you guys confident in being able to make 1 to 2,000 or 1 to 3,000 a month?
Of course. This is exactly what we need. Let me ask you a question. Amazon has advertising to bring visibility as well. Does that help if is there a program like that in eBay where you pay them and
They do.
create a
They
video?
do. But I think the cheapest way or the most powerful way is just like use the systems that are already there and master that first. And then that stuff 100% works.
And then when you get more money, then you can invest to scale. But right now, at the level we're at, it doesn't make sense.
It's not that. It's not that. It's just a different conversation, right? And like I think it's beyond this. Like I think there's something called information paralysis,
yeah,
right?
we gotta.
If I tell you too much, right? If I gave you the $1 million blueprint today, right, it's gonna cripple you.
It's mental indigestion because you're trying to eat too much at once, so you're gonna be constipated. So
Exactly.
yeah, so you gotta. That's how learning is. You know, if you're delusional or just your ego's too high, then you'll try to do too much too fast. But maturity tells us, like, if you really want to keep this in life, and since life, the time in life matters, to optimize your learning, you got to know how you learn, the rate you learn, and all of these things, and live within that to get the actual results you want. So,
100%.
so you're perfect in understanding how we think, right? How we need to grow because you did it.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
I have a question. AutoDNS has a non-API version as well, which I've used before in the past. Does that still work? Do you have any experience?
He heard about his own.
In my opinion, you guys are already connected to it, so there's no like
Going
coming
back,
back.
right?
No. This hers was connected to it.
No, you guys.
Okay.
Mine too.
Yeah.
If I cancel it, they'll.
It was already linked. It was already like eBay has a so we don't know exactly how eBay flags accounts, right? Like it's not, we didn't perfect that science, but best practice is to not use non-API. That's the reason why even AutoDS made that feature, right? The non-API version.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh man, so we messed up. The account is permanently poisoned now. It's tainted.
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. This is just, so these are just like what we know potentially leads to it, but it's not a death sentence.
Right.
Right. So anyways, there's no point like crying about spilled milk, right? Like in the end of the day, this business, if you, let's say both of your accounts got suspended, if you didn't know how to come back to eBay after you got suspended, then there was no future to begin with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Suspensions are actually the beginning of the journey because that is one of the critical points of this business, right? This business, now that you understand how to get sales, it becomes ultimately account creation and suspension prevention.
Right.
That's right.
You get what I mean? So don't worry about getting suspended because if you get suspended, if you don't know, if you can't come back from it, then that means that this business was not meant for you to begin with. But ultimately, like to learn how to do that, you got to talk about it, right? Invest your time and knowledge, like to watching the material that we have, like because we've already done most of the experiments, yeah. One thing I'll tell you about AutoDS, if you're trying to list like those 10,000 items, it becomes like very expensive very quickly.
That's what I'm. Yeah. That's what I was kind of worried.
We're gonna
about.
switch to yours. I'm pretty certain at this point. We're gonna do
Yeah.
this.
I1 is actually much cheaper, like for what we we provide the same service as AutoDS,
Yeah,
but yeah, like it's literally like there's only like when you look into it more, you'll understand what I'm saying. I don't want to like get into it too deeply in this call,
Oh,
but it's like it's priced better, like a lot better, right? It's like in the end of the day, like we have a $200 a month subscription that lets you list 5,000 copy and paste items from Amazon every month. So that means that even if you list like this month you get 5,000, next month you get 5,000, next month you get 5,000, and it keeps adding on like that. And it's all with the $200 membership. So that means as you're creating more accounts, you can scale your business with the one price.
Okay, one question. I just thought of. You said if we constantly relist, but if it counts as a new listing as you get bigger and bigger, and you're trying to add new listings on top of that, doesn't that raise a flag to a degree? What level? You said it matters when you're going from 0 to 10,000, right?
So
But
we list 100 items a day for 90 days with 100% markup. And then that keeps us generally safe.
Yeah, but how do you get to those bigger numbers without raising flags in terms of posting? Because you're reposting.
So think about it. Think about it this way, yeah. If you only have 3,000, like in the first month, you'll get 3,000 listings, right?
Yeah.
Your sales are still gonna be capped to like $3,000 a month. Let's say every 1,000 listings gives you $1,000 a month, right? With 3,000 listings, you're gonna be capped at 3,000 listings. The next month, you're gonna have 6,000 listings, and it's gonna double. But it's gonna be a gradual growth as you're adding items.
I see what you're talking about.
To get on.
I was just okay, and because you were doing business that whole time, they're not gonna count it as 0 to 10,000 just because you've relisted 10,000. They're just because they've been seeing your activity.
It's about the sales, not the um not the amount of listings that you have. But you want to go ahead and like have disciplined growth. 100 items a day for 90 days.
100 items a day. You say less.
For 90 days.
Say less.
Yeah.
And we would like you to continue on this journey with us in some capacity, because this is so good to just let
Now,
go.
since he has a new store, wouldn't you start slower with the listings, like 10 a day, or?
Let's just hear or
So you're coming in with that mentality because of the scare that you had, right? But remember, like when you list with 100 items with 100% markup, the chances of those items selling is very low to begin with. You're probably not going to get a sale until you get more listings up and more cumulative visibility.
I just want to know if it affects the store if I post a lot of items.
Yes.
That
The short answer is yes.
they
So
have a problem with you selling, listing a lot of items each.
yes. So
as
the
a new
answer
seller.
is yes. The safe number we found was like for new accounts, 100 items a day for 90 days works.
100. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So this is like, so we do have like a weekly meeting inside our group every Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern time, and those meetings are also posted inside the course that we have. We have a course. If you guys do join, you just watch the course and you can watch the meetings and then join every Saturday 9 p.m. Eastern time. We just have the weekly meeting, right?
and you
It's a
could
private
problem
one.
you could problem solve much quicker in the collective with a good leader. So that keeps you on point, on pace, and all you got to do is put in the work.
Yeah. I learned a lot in a year and a half. Just from all the community members sharing everything that they know. So you are 100% right. It is a collective effort to like solve this eBay problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Praise God, because I woke up this morning thinking community. It was on my mind from the beginning, and I said, I'm gonna go find us a community to grow in everything that we're trying to grow in, because you have to have that. Plus, you have to have good leadership. Plus, we have the individual determination and the capability, and I'm an older man myself, so I don't have no time to play around with life. So I got to learn it efficiently, and then have the best point of support to maximize my hours in each day, right?
Yeah. No, 100%. 100%. So, uh, like just make sure that at the end of this call, you guys execute. And then secondly, continue learning. You know what I mean?
Thank you very much,
Don't
bro.
ever like stop learning, because this is where if you stopped learning and talking about it, that's where everything is gonna die, right?
So can I thank you now? Is it okay?
Yeah. Go for it.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much, brother.
Yeah.
You've been this is eye-opening experience we've had in drop shipping in like 7 years, 6, 7 years. So I would ask you about Amazon, but you only do business, you only recommend, you told us to focus on eBay. And if it's making us
I
money,
wouldn't even be able to comment on Amazon because I only do eBay.
okay, good. Okay, good.
Imagine this, right? Imagine everybody in the world only talked about the things that they knew. What kind of great, like, imagine how much faster we would learn.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I make it a point that I don't speak about anything that I don't know anything about, right?
My compliments to your teacher or whoever raised you, or your desire to understand the process of learning, which that is what we need in life. That's the most important skill, right? To learn and then apply it, and the ability to apply it. So thank you again. I'm
Yeah.
gonna into the group and we'll find out whatever programs we have. I'm on your YouTube page, but I don't want to go through all of this. So I think the course will be more direct to get
It's
us.
more direct, yeah. So let me just like comment about what you said. And very, very interesting point. The difference between, do you know what the difference between mentorship and a teacher is? Like this would be called a mentorship call and not a teaching call,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Do you know what the difference is? What does a mentor do that's different than a
A
teacher?
mentor is bet a bit more because they're trying to mold you into who they are. Um,
Uh-huh.
but a teacher just gives you information, and then
Yes, exactly. A mentor helps you, guides you to the answer, and a teacher tells you the answer. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But the most effective is when somebody guides you to the answer because it clicks. You use your own experiences, and like that's how you really like teach somebody, and like you transfer that knowledge, right? So what I would ask of you two is, on YouTube, I would be a teacher, but you guys can be mentors for the greater community, right? Because now that you have the information, like pass it on and share with the, like if you join our community, like talk to the guys and help elevate them because they're gonna go ahead and give it back to you one way or another after, yeah.
yeah. I wanted to ask certain things like your motivation for this and your background, but we're not going to do that now. I think we've had enough, and today we're just resting and stuff. But
We'll talk about it on the private calls, yeah.
oh yes, my brother, you have a brother. Thank you very much. You new guys, whoever's watching this, you need to stay watching this. That's all I got to say.
All right, all righty, guys, have a good one, yeah.
You too.